Hey, I don't normally wear corporate attire, but I figured it was fitting given the topic of today's video. For those of you who don't know, as of last Thursday, my company shut down all offices. Forever. It was a decision made by the upper management leadership team, and the concept was going digital by default. So in 50 years from now, when everyone's working from home no matter what, this is just a very early step in that direction. They're of the mentality that everyone will eventually do this, and frankly, I agree. With that said, I have some thoughts on the matter, and I think they may have very much jumped the gun. We're going to start with the selfish side of things, and I'll keep this video short, but I spent 2 years in support, each day more grueling than the last, and my end goal, the ultimate goal, was to secure a job in the Toronto office, and I did for a little bit. I was given a desk. It was a window seat on the 8th floor, and I think you can see the CN Tower if you squinted. But then Corona hit, and the offices were temporarily closed, which made sense. But now with this news, I can't help but think I'm never going to see the desk that I worked so hard for. And the perks that come along with the office, outside of the millions of dollars they must have spent and the skyline views of Toronto and the free food and unlimited everything, there was something bigger that I wanted, that I just didn't get in support, and that I'm afraid that I'll never get now. And that was that social factor. I was talking to someone about this last night, and her mentality kind of mimicked mine. I was very afraid of this change, namely because in the office, you can be sitting there with a bunch of people. And the cool thing about this company is that I'm very much a believer of the fact that every single person in that office is one of, if not the best person in Toronto at that job. The company only hires the best. So every time I go there, I'm a little starstruck by everyone walking around, and they're just normal people and they're friendly people. And the fact that I finally belong is amazing. But let's say it's 7 a.m. on a Monday morning or something, you're making coffee, you accidentally bump into someone who happens to be the VP of branding or something like that. Or even the other way, where it's just another person from the marketing team. Our talent acquisition team spends so much time, resources, and money making sure that every single person at this company passes a vibe check of sorts. They call it a culture fit, I think, but we're gonna go with a vibe check. And you meet so many cool friends. Even working remote, I've met so many people, but I have no doubt in my mind that number would have quadrupled if I was working in person. And I'm afraid we've lost that, because you're going from everyone working together in the office, and now we're remote. It's very different bumping into someone cool and interesting in person versus pinging them on Slack, And that's where I think we may have absolutely jumped the shark. I know that the decision was probably made for the best of the employees, but more so the best decision of the company. If it's going to last 100 years, this had to happen eventually. And I think for the most part, I know it's not a money decision. We have money. We're one of the few companies to be fortunate enough to do better during everything going on right now. I think we're Canada's most valuable company. And given the kind of events and the offices they've done in the past, I don't think they've made this decision to cheap out in any means. I think it's just very forward thinking. Other companies that are similar to us, like Facebook and Google and Twitter, which is still astounding to say that we're in that league, they've given employees the choice. You can work remotely forever if you want, which maybe if you're 45 and you have an hour commute and 2 kids, yeah, take that. But when you're 20 to 30 years old, I'm 25, like, I had this fantasy of staying at the office until like 9 or 10 p.m. just working on a cool project, and like the sun sets and you see like the city skyline light up. It's beautiful in the office, and just being able to spend as much time as I can working. I love that idea. I want to work, and I'm afraid that's being taken away from us. I have no doubt in my mind that once Corona's over, there's going to be a WeWork space or some sort of, collaboration pop-up office thing externally from Shopify that everyone's going to start flocking to. But I'm just afraid that it's going to end up being a lesser version of what we already had, because at the end of the day, there are certain people, me, who are diehard extroverts. They need other people to thrive. And I mean, I'm moving downtown. The entire condo is going to be 350 square feet. That'll be the size of this bedroom. I can't turn that into, a dining room, a bedroom, a living room, and now an office, especially an office where I'm very productive. I feel really bad for people with kids, people with, honestly, even the point, like, what if someone has an old MacBook and a roommate and 2 kids? If you hop on a Zoom hangout with them, you're going to perceive them as maybe something they're not when everyone comes to the office. It feels like they've leveled the playing field, but the net benefit is lower than it used to be. Before, you could have people who don't come into the office like I used to and have no culture at Shopify, which is horrible. And then you get people who stay in the office all day, and it's amazing. But I don't know. I'm just very cautious about this decision. It might be the first decision that I disagree with leadership on, to be honest with you. I was talking to someone tonight about it, and I'm trying to think of the positives. I know this is a big call, something that they didn't think of lightly, and I'm sure it'll lead to some sort of attrition or employee turnover, but now they can recruit the best people, and they don't have to be in Toronto. So I understand why the decision was made. I'll end with this. I think in a perfect world, the offices will be a cool, chill hangout space to socialize and collaborate. They'll remove all the pods, they'll remove all the desks for the most part, and they'll be replaced with maybe couches, maybe lounge areas or stuff like that to foster growth and human to human growth. And we just do the boring stuff at home. I can live with that. I think some people have 10-hour workdays, some have 5-hour workdays, and it changes every single day. And I think having the flexibility to do that makes sense. I would love if there was some sort of co-working space within the office. Hell, I'd enjoy if they made them condos. But I don't know, what's done is done, and I think over time we'll all come to realize this was best for the company. And the downside of being an early adopter of something, whether you wanted to or not, is that sometimes it just doesn't work for you. I definitely predict we're going to lose some amazing people just because they need other human beings around them. Not everyone's suited for remote work, especially in those tiny Toronto condos. So that's the video. Just a couple thoughts on the recent news that Shopify has put out. I get it. I mean, it makes sense. It was inevitable. I just thought we had another 5 or 10 years. It's a lot depressing that I'm likely never going to see the desk that I worked for like 2 years to attain. But such is life. And if they can transform this thing into some cool hangout collaboration space, I think we can all be happy with that. And I think at the end of the day, we're just fortunate to work for a company with seemingly endless resources and a really good group of people who care about the employees. Because I really don't think this decision was made about money whatsoever. I'm sure it'll save money, but this is bigger than that. And yeah, frankly, I think it might be what I signed up for when I started working here. So I'll talk to you in a couple weeks about this. I don't want to make every video about my job, but yeah, I don't know. Work couldn't be better. It's everything that I had hoped it would be for the 2 years leading up to this. I really wish I saw my desk.